Doing all you alright, Cody back again, dropping yet another video. Right, guys, today's video it doesn't sound very nice, but I'm going to talk about it. It's the prison pocket, right? Some of you are thinking, what's the prison pocket? For those that have been to prison, you'll know. It's your arsehole, right? There's no way to dress that up, guys. Your anus, your arsehole, whatever you want to call it. It is what it is, right? The prison pocket, right, comes into play before you even land at prison, right? Now, what people do, right? Drugs are big business in prison. Now, if you know that you're definitely going to go to prison, right? What people do, they get cling film, right? 2 or 3 like wraps of cling film. They'll put it onto like a table or a flat surface. They'll put a load of drugs in it. They'll then secure it because cling film sticks to itself, doesn't it? And they'll fashion it into so it's a parcel about this big or bigger. And then what some people do is they'll take poppers, which is amyl nitrate, which is used by the gay community for sex, right? And what they do, it loosens sorry, your muscles in your ass, right? And then that allows you to put things into your ass. Now, some people do it differently and stuff, right? Like some people go in with quite a few parcels. They're called parcels, right? Like say drugs all quashed up together. It's called a parcel, right? They try to make it like a cylinder sort of shape so you can put it into your ass, right? Because if, like I say, this is normally done the morning you go into court, right? People put mobile phones in there. Some people even put chargers in there. I'm being serious, right? And then the idea is, right, so you go to court, you know you're going to get sent down. The judge then sends you to prison. You then get into your cell. You shit it out. And then what you'll do is you'll break down your parcel into individual wraps. Or some people just keep it as a whole. They'll shit it out and they'll keep it in the pad, right? But screws, some screws are more proactive than others and stuff, depending on what prison you're in. If you get spun, that's where your cell gets searched. People are aware, prisoners are very aware of this. Prisoners are always 2-3 steps ahead of the screws, right? So what some of the lads do is actually keep the parcels secreted up their arse. It goes on. Now, I've seen it where prison officers, right? There was one prison officer on my last stretch on the induction wing. The induction wing, for those that don't know, is the wing that everyone lands on when they'll hit the prison, unless they're going straight onto VP or the Cat A wing, right? Everyone else will do induction, right? An induction is, well, the lads on the induction wing know that normally every prisoner that's coming in, there's a chance that they've got drugs secreted within them, right? Like I say, drugs are big business in prison now. People people plug heroin, crack cocaine, fucking Subutex, fucking cocaine, fucking spice, weed, resin, everything, right, up their ass, because when they get to prison, they know that can go, they can make a lot of money off that, or they can use it for currency, right? Now, another thing of you using your prison pocket, if you shit it out in your pad and the lads get click on, right, that you've got a parcel, right, they could come into your pad, fuck you up, take your parcel and fuck off. Grassing in prison doesn't happen. You do get people that do grass, but you do not grass in prison, right? Now, if you've got a load of drugs, right, up your ass and you're taking them out and then someone's come in and jacked your stash, right, you can't then go to the screws and say, oh, boss, someone's nabbed me fucking me drugs. Because you're blowing yourself up then, and then security will end up marking your card and you end up fucked, right? Simple as that. Plus then the lads will go after you as well if you grass. So yeah, so you don't grass. Like I say, some people, prison's a very paranoid place. It's a very selfish place. People do what they can to get by. Now, drugs are big business in prison, mark my words. Everyone wants to. People going to prison, never taking drugs and coming out raving spiced. Some people are leaving prison in body bags through overdosing and things like that. But yeah, the prison pocket, like I say, you get to how you could be detected and stuff. Yes, you could, of course you could. Right now, this is how this works, right? So like I say, you've gone to court, you've been sent down, you arrive at the prison, right? I'll give you an example, Forest Bank, right? You come off the sweat box, right? They process you. You go into an audience and stuff, but what they've got now, they've got these like towers, right? And the towers, right? They're like hypersensitive, i.e., if you've got a mobile phone and stuff like that, unless you've got metal in your body, or like you're wearing a belt, or like certain things will set it off. Now, if you go past it and it spikes, because it goes from green to yellow to orange to red, right? Red's obviously like alarm thing for them, right? They could then strip search you and stuff. What prisons are doing now, they're actually, like Forest Bank, for example, when I was leaving there like 2 months ago, they're building a body scanner, right? Which is going to, eventually it's going to fuck a lot of people up. Drugs will still get in, because it just means that the convicts, right, the prisoners, have got to think of a different way to get around it, right? As the Ministry of Justice, like, are always following the lads, and the lads just move the goalposts, and then they move the goalposts, and they move the goalposts. You'll know what I mean when you're alive at prison. You'll see how many drugs and mobile phones are in prison. Every prison across the board, right, in the UK. So yeah, so you go past it, right? Like I say, some people just secrete drugs in the prison pocket or their arsehole, right? Some people will put mobile phones up there, wrap them in cling film and stuff. You don't want to put them in tinfoil, because again, tinfoil metal and stuff. Some people, you've got certain phones, right? You've seen the little bum phones, as they call them, the little tiny ones that have got little small digits and buttons and stuff. They're used within prison. Like they're big business in prison. Some people are taking phones to mobile phone shops, to dodgy mobile phone shops, and saying, try and get as much metal out of that as you possibly can. Obviously, there's certain points where you do need like bits of copper and metal, and that's for the battery and stuff, because metal to metal and stuff like that, you get where I'm going with that. But yeah, like I say, so say you just got a load of drugs up your ass, right? They don't have sniffer dogs on reception waiting for you and stuff like that, right? You get processed. They'll search your body, they'll pat you down and stuff. Some people make the mistake, right, of when they've put a parcel up their ass, they'll wrap like fishing wire around it, so that, and then they'll leave the bit of the fishing wire hanging out their ass, so when they get to the other end, they can pull the fishing wire out their ass, and that's like, imagine it like a line. You're pulling it out, you're pulling the drugs out your ass. But when you arrive at prison, you get strip searched, right? They ask you to you start bollock naked, right? Do your top half first, then they do your bottom half, right? If you turn around and bend over and you've got something coming out of your ass, right, like a line, right, they're going to try and grab it. They'll be gloved up, right? And if you've got something hanging from your ass, i.e. a wire, right, they're going to pull it. So if people that take drugs to prison, they put them all the way up in their ass, and then, like I say, when they land at the prison and stuff, they'll shit it out. And like I say, some people break it up into individual wraps, like drugs and stuff. Some people will keep it up their arse and they'll take it out as and when they need it. For the thing is, if you keep it up your arse, right, the screws, if the screws spin your pad on suspicion, right, you're not going to be found in possession of any drugs, because they're inside you, aren't they? If you do it individual wraps and stuff, if someone comes to you, right, on social and says, yeah, I need some drugs, you can go into your pad, take your fucking contents out your prison wallet, do a wrap, put it back up your ass, right, and then you've got your individual wrap. But it means if people are coming to you throughout social stuff, you're gonna be your arsehole's gonna be fucking like that, innit? You know what I mean? You're gonna go out, you're gonna leave prison with an arsehole like that. Like I say, it goes on though. Some people keep it inside them. Some people take drugs to prison for personal use. Some people take them to sell. Drugs are big business in prison, guys. And like I say, you don't just have to put drugs on or mobile phones in your prison pocket. People are thinking like, how does a smartphone like that could be this wide go in your ass? But I don't know how people do it, but cons do it, guys. There's ways and means around everything. A little bit of pain, big profits, right? It's as simple as that. Obviously, drugs come in many different ways, but I'm going to do a separate video on that. But this is just covering the prison pocket. It's a prison term, it's the prison wallet, it's the prison pocket, however you want to address it. Like I say, prisons are now combating it by putting body scanners in. Now, the one when I left Forest Bank was just being built. It had not been finished, they just started it, right? That's going to cause issues, right? But I believe from what one of the screws was telling me, people that come through reception, people that go to prison can only be scanned twice a year because of radiation, right? And some people are, it's like a revolving door for a lot of people. A lot of people go back to prison, back to prison, back to prison, back to prison. Like I say, it's all risk versus reward. If you're on a long stretch, if you're getting 10 years, right, getting extra for drugs, right, inside your body, probably not too bad, right? It's worth the risk for the money you're going to make. For those on short sentences, you could end up getting fucked over and end up serving longer, right? So, like I say, you don't want to be going in doing a few months and end up doing years because of drugs and stuff, do you? Right? So it's all risk versus reward and stuff. Not every prison's got the body scanners. Some prisons are starting to roll them out, other prisons haven't. You guys that have been in prison, you'll have to let me know about body scanners in your old prisons and stuff like that. I can only speak about Manchester. Strangeways hasn't got one, or didn't when I was in there. I left there 2 years ago. Forest Bank, I left there 2 months ago, and it wasn't up and running. Right, guys, going to leave it there. As always, like, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff. Thanks for all your great feedback, guys. Again, get me on Facebook, get me on Twitter, all that good stuff, and I'll speak to you all soon. Cody, bye.